what the COVID virus response is a completely inept response by the medical community, showing how really distorted they've made the science, because this virus was well treatable using techniques known in March of 2020, and it was completely ignored. And I just thought it was just basically incompetence. And because that Fauci was preaching the only way we can stop this, because a vaccine, if it worked, has the potential to basically, stop the thing in its tracks. But for a coronavirus, which is a single-stranded RNA virus, they've never had a successful vaccine against this, because the virus one reason is the virus mutates too quickly. And the second reason is the virus uses a mechanism that the human immune response is really not geared for fighting, especially when you add this furin cleavage site into it, which was added by scientists to make the virus more tenacious. And so it's a man-made a virus in this case. And they chose the coronavirus because it was so infectious and because the immune system can't fight it. It has a very difficult time fighting the coronavirus. And so I think that's why it was selected for the by the U.S. Department of Defense for this for the research. And it's just a failure of the medical community and a failure of how they interpret science. It's just a colossal failure. There should be an admission by the medical community to say that, yeah, we messed up. Early treatments were the way to go. Early treatments are still the way to go, and people are still not recognizing that. People are being recommended to get a vaccine. If you're over 65, get a vaccine if it's been over 4 months since you got your last vaccine. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Not to mention young children, et cetera, which we'll get to. So fast forward to 21, you had your 2 shots of Moderna. What made you start to question what was going on? I think you had some very random incidents of talking to some fellow humans, and something, yes, I think in your MIT first principles brain said, hold on a second, something doesn't statistically add up here. Is that right?
Yeah. You can fudge the science, but you can't fudge the mathematics. Mathematics always tells you the truth, especially Poisson distributions. And so if you understand how Poisson distributions work, the quick story is Poisson distribution says it's an independent event, it's a random event. And you can calculate statistics for, if you expect to see 10 events and you see 20, you can calculate the probability of that happening. And so if you normally see 100 events happening on a regular basis and you see 200 events, you can calculate that. And that's different from 10 versus 20 because the numbers are higher. So using Poisson distributions, you can make all sorts of interesting calculations as to probabilities. And so what happened to me is that I got a DM on Twitter from one of my followers asking me, is the vaccine safe? And I'm responding, of course it's safe. It's the safest vaccines ever created. And so I'm just I'm parroting the party line. And then I asked her at the end, why are you asking me this question? And she says, well, 3 of my relatives got the vaccine, and a week later, they're all dead. 3 of them were all dead. They were perfectly healthy before. And so I did a statistical calculation because they said, well, 1 out of 1 million people might die from the vaccine, and that's considered to be a safe vaccine. So if it's 1 out of a million, so it's 10 to the 18th for 3. I mean, roughly speaking, that's not the exact number, but it's close to 1 in 10 to the 18th. So I said, that's impossible that it was the vaccine that killed them. It must have been just a coincidence. But the chance of that happening just as a coincidence, that 3 relatives perfectly healthy die within her family, is also astronomically small. And so this didn't make any sense to me. This is like, wait a minute. Somebody's lying. And I didn't know this person on Twitter very well. So I said, let's file it in the back of my mind. And then a week later, my carpet cleaner shows up, Tim Damroth, shows up at my door, and he's wearing a mask, and I'm giving him a hard time. And I'm saying, hey, Tim, don't you know that if you have 2 vaccines, then you don't have to wear a mask? And so, again, I'm like just buying this whole thing hook, line, and sinker. And Tim said he couldn't get his second shot because after his first shot, he had a heart attack 2 minutes after the shot. And he was miserable ever since that day, that he was having enormous health problems and he didn't want to get a second shot. And he eventually did get a second shot because his doctor said that they won't treat him unless he's fully vaccinated. So Tim succumbed to that because he was in such pain and he needed treatment. He got the second shot and it made things even worse. And so at this point, I'm looking at I'm going to the data saying this is a little bit too weird. Somebody's lying. And I don't think it's my friends. And so I started looking at the data. I started looking at the VAERS data. I started looking at the trial data. And it was all really clear that this vaccine is a complete hoax. The more I researched it, the more data I uncovered, the more convinced I became that this vaccine is the greatest, is the most dangerous vaccine in human history. It's killed an estimated well over 10 million people, depending on whose estimates you believe. But very early on, we had an estimate. It's pretty easy to remember. It was basically 1 in 1,000 people who get the shot will end up dead because of the shot. And so if you're talking about injecting 275 million people in the United States, with multiple shots, you're looking on the order. There have been like 750 million doses delivered, and so you're looking on the order of 1 million people who are killed by these vaccines in America, and then there are millions who are disabled from the vaccine, and others who are not disabled but highly inconvenienced from the vaccine with various side effects. And then there are the people who are lucky, the 90% or so, 95% of people who are lucky and they don't experience any effects at all, and wondering, what people are talking about.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast. It's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps. You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's of course been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future. Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. Most people will never see this opportunity. Dubai luxury transformation projects have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. These were once reserved only for insiders with access. I spent 15 years on Wall Street and I learned this. The biggest returns always go to the people who get the call first. Now, you finally can. We've just received a brand new project with major upside potential. Allocations move fast. Click the link, apply now, and speak to my team. This is your chance to see what others never will.